welcome to the Not Related podcast. We've been gone for a long time, haven't we, Nick?
Dude, it's been a long time.
It's been a while.
Long time.
Actually,
how long actually has it been?
It's been over a year at least. Yeah,
well, we're back, so that's all that matters.
We're back, and we are ready to have some serious fun because it's been well over a year. Oh, look, there's Mom in her robe. Come on out, Mom. It's fine. Don't worry. Mom is
Mom, we can still see you. She's like trying to crawl.
I am so dead. I cannot with
mother.
her. Anyways, me, Alex, for our audio listeners, I am currently in Scotland with my mom, as you guys can see, in her nice little bathrobe. Just put on a face mask. And Nick, you're just back home in good old Florida, aren't you?
Back home in good old Florida. In the new stream room, guys. This is technically the first time that well, I don't know if my video of my tour of the stream room will be out before this podcast. But if it's not, you're seeing a little sneak peek. I still got to have the It's Me Nick Smithy sign come in. And,
that's some good clickbait, right? That's some good clickies. Like, hey, see Nick Smitham in stream room. Hopefully we get some more views from that. What's up, guys? We're going to clout chase that. But anyway, so I'm so happy for us to finally be back doing the Not Related podcast. We took well over a year off because we are terrible and we suck. And so glad that we're back now. And I'm so glad that Nick wanted to do this again with me. And I think that in 2023, we're going to be freaking awesome. We're going to be consistent. We're going to post a lot. We're going to do a weekly podcast, hopefully, probably every week. And we are really going to try our best to keep you guys updated and talk about current events, current TikTok craziness, just everything going on in the world. And we need to remind you guys, for those of you who maybe haven't listened to Not Related in the past, we are a brother and sister duo. Okay, we actually are related, but the whole purpose of us calling this Not Related is because Nick and I might be brother and sister, but we're very different. We've had a lot of different situations happen to us, and we have different views, different opinions. Wouldn't you say so, Nick?
Yes. Yeah, no, we're definitely just like different. But like we're not different. like nobody's like mad at each other or anything. And like
no, never.
Like, I'm sure the viewers will hear us like argue or go back and forth on stuff, but it's more like it's just different opinions is basically what it comes down to. Or it's actually what it is it's my fact versus her opinion.
It's Nick's fact versus my opinion. That's what
I'm joking.
Mom looked at me like, what?
We're already going to start arguing. First episode. Let's go. I'm just kidding.
We're going to argue like we did when we were kids. Actually, we didn't argue very much when we were kids. What do you think? I don't think we really argued much.
No, I actually think we got along pretty well. But obviously, as you grow up, you get different points of views. We still get along. But again, it's like we're also both adults now who live in different parts of whatever. Alex is traveling all the time. I'm pretty much in my home in Florida most of the time. So like we don't see each other like a whole crazy lot. And
I would say
we're just like doing our own things.
We've probably only argued maybe, gosh, I don't know, 2 or 3 times in our entire life. I mean, I don't know. I don't really like to argue much.
We don't usually argue that much.
But I will speak up. I will share my opinion when needed.
We have disagreements.
We have disagreements. That's it. But we don't have.
But it's not like bad arguing usually.
Yeah, we're not like, cussing each other out or like whatever. That was never like a thing. And bless Sammy's heart. I know if Sammy listens, Sammy was our little I don't want to say problem child, but Sammy is our
bro. How are you gonna do her like that? She can't even defend herself.
I'm not gonna do her like that because she can't defend herself. And we love Sammy. Sammy is so sweet now. She's so sweet and she's so successful, and we love Sammy. But as a kid, I feel like you and I did argue with Sammy more than we argued with each other.
It was the demon scream. That's what it was. Anytime she screamed, it was over. Yeah, I couldn't handle it.
I just think you and I always got along pretty well. Not that I didn't get along with Sammy, but I think us just, being 2 girls in the family, I think it was just like more of like, hey, you stole my clothes, you stole my makeup, you stole my shoes.
Yeah,
like we would argue way more. And I feel like with you, I would not argue with you. You know what I mean? So.
Well, to be honest, I feel like I was kind of the medium every time. I was the only guy in the family too.
True.
Like, or the only boys. So like y'all two girls would go at it. And y'all lived on the same side of the house. I was on the other side. My room was always separated from everybody. So like I just did my own thing. I was like, whatever. You guys do your thing.
Nick, I had video games or yeah, for real. Nick was out here being an MLG gamer while I was like going to parties, being like, hey Nick, you want to come to a party with me? And Nick's like, no, I'm too busy playing my game. I'm like, no, Nick, come on, man.
And then what she'd do is she'd be like, come to a football game and pay for me. And then she'd never pay me back.
What?
That's why I'm rich and famous now, guy. No, I'm joking.
Did I do? Oh my god, did I do that?
Yeah, you probably owe me like $150, like easily.
Are you serious?
Probably. Yeah, because every single time I'd call you out and I'd be like, you didn't pay me back from last time. You're like, oh, I'm gonna get you next time. Don't worry, I'm gonna get you. And then you never got me, and I was like, bruh.
No way. I'm sorry.
I'm not holding a grudge. It's just deep down inside of me.
Looks like I'm not holding a grudge, except this happened a lot.
No, the only reason I remember it is because it happened a lot. It actually happened like quite a bit.
Did it really?
Yeah, I remember because the back-to-back times. But I think you were like smoking weed and stuff, so you were probably just like.
Or I was probably just forgetting, honestly.
Yeah.
I was just out here, honestly. I was out here. That was my party days. Now I'm like.
She was partying, and I was responsible, guys. I did my
mom
schoolwork.
Just looked over to me really, really angrily. Maybe we should change the subject. Maybe mom shouldn't be in the room listening to our podcast.
That's a good point.
Do, mom? Are you gonna ground me? Are you gonna ground me at age 28? I'm just kidding. Mom's just kidding. She says she's cheering us on while she's looking at me like this. She's looking all mad.
She's judging for sure.
It's fine, Mom. We're done. Anyways, thank you, not related listeners, for dealing with us in our long hiatus. Is that the word?
That was a long intro, wasn't it? That was. I guess we need a long intro back because we've been gone for so long.
We've been gone for a while. The people are gonna see new episode and they're gonna be like, "Wait, what podcast is this? I forgot this even existed."
Right.
Although I will say we're starting it back also because we got some cool messages and people were like, hey, I found your podcast. Where are you guys? And I'm like, oh crap. I don't know, but we should start back in 2023. So anyways, that's what we're doing. So Nick, I wanted to ask you a question. Speaking of 2023, do you have a resolution or goal this year that you are going towards, or no? Let me know your thoughts.
Yes and no. I don't really do the whole resolution. I just kind of start my resolutions when
Agreed.
I want to get something done. I'm not one of those like some people operate like that. They're like, oh, new year, new me. I'm like, if I want to change something, I just change it when I need to change it. But I would definitely say one thing I said out loud to Avery and to myself was I kind of wanted to hit 1 million on. Avery is my wife. So we were talking and I was like, I want to hit 1 million on YouTube this year. So I'm about to hit 400K.
That's a great goal.
Yeah. So I got the 100K plaque or whatever, and that's cool. It was just always
congratulations. Yeah, no, that's incredible, Nick. That's like every person's dream. I mean, that is amazing.
Obviously, what's better than 100K though is the 1 million. Like, I feel like 1 million on YouTube is when I'll be like, that's it. Because I've obviously got I think I 40 million on TikTok or something like that. And 40? But that's a 40, across my
40.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Across, but that's all my accounts added. I mean, think about it. My main account's 8.5 or something like that, and my second account is 14 million. So just those two accounts put me over 20 million. So then, when you add my 3 or 4 others, then
that's actually really a lot of followers, Nick. Damn. Well, we better be getting a lot of views on this mother effing podcast. Y'all, if you're coming from Nick's TikTok,
we'll see.
People
like me in short form. You know what I mean? And I think that's why one of my goals.
No, your YouTube is doing well. So it is doing well. You in long form too, or that.
It's harder though. It definitely is harder, I think, to convince people. Here's what I've noticed, at least over the years and years of doing this, is when you go from short form to long form, it's a lot. In my opinion, it's a lot harder. And I'm not saying anybody in long form, it's hard for them to go to short form. I don't think they make good short form content, but you got to think when you're in long form, I feel like the fans are a little bit more serious, if that makes sense. Any big YouTuber, they switch to TikTok, millions of followers instantly.
Right.
It doesn't translate.
That's true.
But I also can't tell because I got well known on TikTok and it's the biggest app in the world. So like switching to any app is less. There's less users.
Yeah.
So it could be some of that. I don't know. I'm like,
right.
It's like hard to tell, as well as like, you got to think like some of the apps are banned in other countries and TikTok is like the worldwide one.
Yeah. Let's talk about that.
So,
what countries is it banned in?
TikTok or like other ones?
TikTok. Is it banned in India? Isn't that one?
I think that's the only place. I think that's the only place.
Is that the only country? India?
I'm pretty positive. Yep. Which is fine because when it was allowed, there were so many spammers and
I feel like I just saw something on the internet about how TikTok is now banned for certain government employees in the United States.
Yeah. No, listen.
What?
Look, here's been the fight. It's been going on for a long time, right? Like, I feel like, remember they were going to ban TikTok in the US like years ago, then it didn't happen. It was going to happen like 3 times. All of us were like, all right, go follow us on all of our social medias. Go follow us on all of our other social medias, like over and over again. Avery was just downloading some TikToks from me from like 2 years ago. And she was like, dang, you really were like spamming that junk back to back. So I was like, yeah, well, like, I mean, I had like, I don't know, probably like 1 million or 2 million at that time or something like that. Like, I don't want to just lose my whole career like that. You know what I mean? And like at the time, that was pretty much it. Like, I didn't have any on Instagram, really. I wasn't doing YouTube. I wasn't doing Twitch. So it was like, I was kind of like all my eggs in one basket. And I was like, oh, shoot, like I'm screwed. So, you know, that was kind of scary. But thankfully, that didn't happen. But I do think now, I think there's a good possibility it might happen. I mean, if you pay attention to like politics at all, at least, some of the Republicans said that they're going to look into banning it. Now, I don't know if that's going to happen, though, because
why?
you have to see, and this is where I'm at with it. I feel like if China was taking data, they screwed up and it should be banned. I agree with it because I think that that's like a violation of everybody's privacy and it's wrong, right? Here's the problem. The damage has already been done. What are you going to what is it going to fix now? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's kind of,
they already have our information.
Yeah. So I've heard people and they're like, throw your phone away if you downloaded TikTok, shred it and toss it into the ocean. And I'm like, it doesn't delete the data, bro. Yeah. It doesn't delete the data. So I'm like, I mean, and here's what's crazy. Did you hear this? I'm sorry to cut you off, but like,
no, it's okay. Go ahead.
Here's what I heard too. It was so deep too with the data that they were taking. Like, it was down to the point of like contacts in your phone. So like nobody's safe. Like, people who don't have it that are like, oh, I didn't download that, so I didn't get screwed. Somebody who has your contact in their phone, literally, like, now they have some of your data too. So it's like, I mean, it's pretty crazy. I mean, there were keystrokes I heard and like all this stuff. Like, they're tracking everything you do on your phone. Like, they get data of everything you type. I'm like, that's nuts.
Well, here's the other thing. I don't know. My thing is, okay, so say they have the data. Maybe I'm just ignorant, but I'm like, okay, so what from there? What are they going to show up at our front door? Like, I just don't get what people are so afraid of. Like, are they going to set our house on fire? I don't understand.
Well, okay. Well, that is the thing. So, like, threats with China have been rising for a while now. If you've been like paying attention to this stuff, there have been like some threat. Well, here's the thing. None of it boils down to anything unless something happens. So like, but like, that's how like everything in life works, right? So like, there's always scares of stuff, but like, it's never a thing until it's a thing. So I feel like, you can prepare, but if it never happens, then it never happens.
That's deep, Nick. It's never a thing.
That's it. No, but it's true though. So like, I mean, some people like, they stay like scared about this stuff. I'm not scared about, like, I feel like if it happens, like it happens. I definitely think America would be the number one place to not try to invade or not try to like screw up like that. Cause you've got like all these people with guns, especially like down south. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not really like a lot of other countries, civilians don't have those. So like, we're not like the people to really mess with. You know what I'm saying? Like, majority, almost, especially down here in Florida or like Texas, right? Like super like
the Bible Belt, people are definitely got some guns. But also the thing is,
like, you don't mess with them.
I was talking to Mom earlier and I'm like, okay, people are so afraid of being found out by the government.
Yeah, well, look, they have all our information anyways.
Right. At least when we're talking about the U.S. government, we know that the U.S. government knows every single thing we're doing, down to
but here's the
everything
problem.
we're typing, down to everything
You're
everyone we're talking to.
You're right 100%. Here's, I guess, where the issue comes in. When it's China that's getting it and not the U.S. government. Now, I don't trust the U.S. government that much either. I'm gonna be straight with you. But what we know from China, what we know from like how China's like ran their China's an actual dictatorship. We're not like there yet. Like I feel like in some ways like it's working towards that here. I don't think it's gonna manifest the same way.
I don't think so.
Like, well, here's the thing. Like with all the stuff that you end up finding out, I'm not saying that that's going on because it's clearly like, and it's still the freest country in the world, and like there's no question
I mean,
about it.
I really think that we are, in America we have so many issues and there is so many things that do need to change. But I do think at the end of the day, like, no, not even close. But that's what I'm saying. During COVID, what they were making people like stay in their apartments and they couldn't leave even to get.
So imagine if they got our information, how they can blackmail the U.S. government to be like, all right, then we'll just release everybody, all these Americans' information, or we have their information. We could go to their house. We could try and slide in through. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's weird things like that. And I'm not saying any of that's going to happen. I'm not pulling like full conspiracy theory, like whatever. No. But it's the fact of like, that's just the reality. If they're taking all that information, why are they taking your information if they're not planning on using it in some way or for something? You know what I'm saying? So like, I feel like it's probably a blackmail thing that they might try and pull up in the future. I watched a lot of videos on this too, because I was kind of like wondering, like, are they going to ban TikTok? And since it's my job, like posting videos. Yeah,
you're really interested.
Well, yeah, I'm like, okay, so like, what's going to happen? Like, I started seeing some videos pop up on YouTube. So I just clicked on them just to like get some different viewpoints. And like, that is one of the big things. Like a lot of these intelligence guys that focus on China or like other parts of the world. And like, they do this for a living. They were literally saying that like a big thing about this is like, it's like the blackmail thing. When you have things on people, then you can say, all right, do what I say, or I'm going to do this. And then it's like, oh my God, then everybody's like, whoa, all my dirty laundry is going to be out there or whatever. You know what I mean? Or like, and most people won't care, but you got to think like, if it came down to that, like, that's kind of like messed up. It's like exposing people too, like people's like, private messages, people's things like that. It's just,
yeah, no, for sure.
It's scummy is what it is. But I don't think taking it away is going to necessarily fix the problem now. I think that if they were going to ban it, they should have done it.
No, I don't think they're going to. I think at this point, they're probably going to keep it and hopefully they do. But yeah, I would agree with you. I think at this point, whatever the information they think that China or we think that China has, they probably already have it. So just leave it, let it flow.
Yeah,
they know where we live.
That's kind of where I'm at. I'm like, we're all screwed.
I don't really care. Like, what's the point? I think we're good. So whatever. Yeah. But anyway, moving on to our next topic, let's talk about how you are about to be a father to a girl. Or how excited are you, Nick?
I'm actually really excited. I'm done.
Aww.
Like that's it. You know what I mean? Like I got a boy and a girl. Listen, I remember telling Avery too when I was like, I feel sorry, I had to burp. I feel like
it's all good.
Like 2 is perfect, but only if it's a guy and a girl. If I got 2 boys, then I'd be like, I gotta go one more for a girl. Or if it was vice versa, 2 girls, I'd be like, gotta go one. See, now I'm like, I'm chilling because it's gonna be a girl. So
you're living the dream,
unless it's wrong, but I don't think it's wrong.
No, I'm really happy for you and Avery. I think you guys are, honestly living the dream and in a certain aspect. I mean, I just think that I'm really excited. I'm excited to, be an auntie to this baby niece because I already got one niece and this will be my second niece. And obviously I'm super excited. And then I'm just excited to see how Asher is as a big brother. Because for those of you listening, Nick already has a son named Asher. Yeah. And he is the literal best. I love my nephew so freaking much. He's so cute. Cool. He's honestly really, I'm not just saying this, guys, because I'm not just saying this. He's actually well-behaved. He's a well-behaved kid. And he's really sweet and cuddly. Like, he's so nice to me. I was like, Auntie Alex, I love you. Gives me a kiss on the cheek. Like, he's like a sweet child that I like to be around. And so I'm really glad he turned out chill and cool. I really am.
Yeah, no, he's a cool kid. He's got a lot of energy. He's got a lot of freaking energy.
All kids do, but he's like a sweetheart. I love him.
No, he's great.
I love him so much. Asher,
we're kind of hoping that our girl though will have a little bit of Avery. I think that's me. He got all my energy. And like Avery's a
Right,
little bit
yeah.
more like, she's like chill
Yeah.
and just like whatever.
She's even more chill, yeah.
So we're
For
kind of hoping
sure.
that the girls got her thing because then it'll balance out. Because if we have
Have
two
you
Ashers, oh my gosh, bro, he's a handful for real. He's a great kid, nice kid,
No, he's a good kid.
smart
He really
kid,
is.
very smart kid. He's like extremely smart. You saw that video of him saying the ABCs?
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah,
oh,
we
what
were
a
like,
sweet little
what the heck?
kid.
Because like we didn't even like go over it with him, except the night before. We was like the first time we went over it with him. And then he
That's
just
crazy.
the next day just starts singing it on his own. We were like, what the heck? But I remember
Yeah,
when
he's a
he
sweetheart.
came out, when you have a kid, most people probably don't know this because they haven't had a kid, but when you have a kid and you spend the night at the hospital, you have to, stay there for usually like 1 day or so. So they can like, run some tests or, there's a bunch of things, circumcision, like all those different things, you go down the list and then they also try and teach you like, the basic parenting things if it's your first time and whatnot. So they come in to do a test on Asher, like an analyzing test, see how smart he is. And I'm like, you can do that like he's a baby. But I
You
guess
can
it's
do that?
it's based on their brain waves. So like they wait till they fall asleep
What?
and they put these headphones on them. And then the doctor like runs like this little computer scanning thing and it scans their activity based on the sounds they're putting into their ears and stuff. So Asher's was through the roof, which was like crazy. I
Was
remember I was
it?
sitting there. Yeah, Avery was doing something. She was probably like cleaning up or something. She's just had a baby. She's going through all this stuff, right? And I
Right.
was in the room with Asher. She was like in the bathroom or something, and the lady comes in. She's running the tests, and then she's like, Dad, come over here. And I'm like, okay. So like I walk over there. She's like, I just want you to know this is really rare. Now I don't know if she's just blowing smoke at me or not, but like seeing how my kid is now, he's like a 4-year-old and
Right.
he's like 2. So I'm like,
Right.
I
Right. Right.
think what
Right.
she said is pretty accurate.
Probably, yeah.
But she pulled me over and she's like, look at this. And I'm like, I don't know what I'm looking at. So I'm like, okay, cool. Like I just see a bunch of lines. It looks like a bunch of like heart wave lines, but it was his analyzing. And it's like you have like this line right here and like this line down here. And it was maxing out. So she said, we don't actually know how smart your son is. She said, that's pretty much how I can put it. She said, he's maxing out the analyzing. She said, generally what this means is like your kid's going to be like really good in school or stuff like they're just smart. They want to know things and they're trying to like he automatically wants to figure stuff out. That's why you ever seen him and like you introduce something new to him and he's immediately like he wants to do it over and over and over and over and over.
Yeah.
That's his like it's like this like built-in determination.
Like that gift I got Lily for Christmas, which is me and Nick's niece, our sister's baby. I got Lily that gift, and Asher was like obsessed with it, and he would not give it up. He was playing, it's like an ice cream shop.
Well,
and
he
was
wants
like
to figure it out.
Putting up the ice cream and figuring it out. And he was so serious, like, Auntie Alex, help me do that. Like, he was so serious about it. He's like a one-track mind kid.
Dude, that's how
like
he is in his room. We're going through this stage right now where like he doesn't want to take naps. So we're putting him in his room. We're calling it just like quiet time. So we're kind of giving him the option because he just fights his naps now. And it's, to be honest, I'm like, I don't even think he freaking needs it. This kid has so much energy. It's like crazy. But then like he'll sleep good at night too. So it's like whatever. So some days he's been taking a nap, but other days, man, he sets up all of his stuff. He's like doing his Legos, all these things. But he's just very determined. Like when I introduce something new to him, he's like, oh, and he'll just sit there and he gets frustrated. We try and take it away from him. Like, cause we're like, hey, it's time to eat or, something. We're like, come on. And he's like, and he just like wants to just keep going. He's like, I like trying to get it across to us. Basically what I feel like he's trying to say is I haven't figured it out yet. Like, give me a second. Anyways, the doctor was just telling us like, your kid's probably gonna be super smart in school. He's just like a massive analyzer, but I'm that way. So I feel like he just got those, that analyzing stuff from me. So I was like, proud dad. I was like, yeah, I know. My kid is like super smart. No,
shut up. No, that's cute. That's cool though. I love it. He's a good kid. But I was wondering, so I saw this post on like one of those like Instagram current event accounts, and they were talking about how a mom is refusing to tell her partner the gender of their baby because her partner was supposed to go to the gender reveal appointment with her. And instead, last second, he backed out to go eat fish and chips with his friend. He lives in London or England or whatever. And he lives in the UK. And he literally last second didn't show up to her appointment. And I guess this was like the 4th time he did that.
Fourth time? They got 4 kids? Or like
no, like the 4, like in her appointments while she's pregnant, like he didn't go to any of the appointments.
Bro had his chance. Like, no.
Listen, I read the comments. The first comment I saw was like, "Bro's a deadbeat dad," and the kid ain't even here yet.
So, no, but like that's actually kind of sad though, for real.
No, because it's actually terrible though.
I get it if you really gotta work. Like, I'm not here to like hate on any dads who like have like, a regular 9 to 5 or whatever. Like, I feel like when you're providing for your family, that's different. But like, even with Avery, like a lot of times, like I work a lot, everybody kind of knows that knows me. Like, I'm always just like making videos and like trying to like do the next best thing or, whatever. And when she has her appointments, I'm always like, can I come? I remember during COVID, I was really frustrated because they were like, no, you can't. Only one person in the room. And I'm like, frick is the difference? I'm like, this is ridiculous. Dude, they almost were going to keep me out for the birth of my baby. I was like, nah, gun's coming out. Like, you're going to let me in. Like, there's no way. Right. Thankfully, I got in, but I was the only one who was allowed to be in there. Like, no other family was allowed in there during Asher's birth. But I was like, I'm not missing that. Gosh. But like, for me, that means a lot. Like, I care about that stuff. I guess some dudes don't,
for sure. But I thought it was so messed up because
that is kind of messed up.
What kind of a father or soon to be father literally just, so then the mom, I guess like after the appointment, he's like, hey, I want, what's the gender of our baby? I want to know. And she's like, I'm not going to tell you. And he like, kind of like, is like, sure. And she's like, no, I'm actually not telling you. And you won't know until the baby's born. Like, for real. Like, I will not tell you.
She's teaching him a lesson.
And
listen,
I'm in agreement with the woman, because if it was me, I was pregnant and my partner was like, I don't want to go to a single one, I'd be like, first of all, that's fine, but you are going to have no say in what's going on here. No say at all.
I feel like, here's what I mean? The hard part. I feel like, as a dude, if you have something going on, like if you have like responsibility of something, there's like a difference there. If you're going to go eat fish and chips with your
That's
boy,
all it was. That's all it was. That's why she said no.
And okay, here's what really gets me. It's not the fact that he would like miss that one to go eat fish and chips. If he did it 4 times, that's like, all right, bro really did have his chance. I don't blame her for being petty.
And that's I also think,
I mean, I think it's kind of funny. Like, he's going to find out eventually, but I don't think it's a bad thing to like teach a dude like that a lesson though. Cause it's kind of like, especially if she wants him there. See, some moms are like, no, it's fine. Like, they don't really care or whatever. But like, if she really wants it there too, like, I feel like, at some point you got to be supportive, not to mention, I guess just the way I see it is like, why would you not want to be there? Like, that's your sperm. You know what I mean? Like, like, it's not like this is somebody else's kid or like your stepdad or something. Like, that's like your own, you know what I mean? Like, that's exciting. At least for me, that's exciting.
Back,
like,
it is, but it all comes back to like, there are so many deadbeat dads or moms or parents in this world, and it's just so unacceptable. But how this guy is a deadbeat before the baby's even born. That's how you know he's a piece of shit. Like, I'm sorry. Like, F that guy. He doesn't deserve to know. He doesn't deserve to have the luxury of knowing if he's having a boy or a girl, because to be completely honest, he probably won't. Let's be honest. He ain't even going to hardly see that kid when it's born. If that's how he is now, he really isn't going to give a crap when it's born, unless he just magically changes and, like, I don't know. But whatever. I just thought that was
might be a wake-up call for him. This might be her way of trying to be like, hey, maybe scare him a little bit into like.
And speaking of the UK, so as you guys know, I am in Scotland right now. I was just in London a few days ago. But I saw something else that I thought we should bring up on the topic. So, Nick, did you see about what Prince Harry said about his virginity?
No, what'd he say? I don't keep up with them.
No, I don't either, but I saw it all over my newsfeed. Anyways, so Prince Harry said he lost his virginity behind a pub to an older woman who spanked him. And he wrote that in his new book, I guess, which comes out in a couple days. He wrote that in his new book, and I was like, I literally shared it to my Instagram story, and I said,
"That's some dominatrix."
I said, since I had to learn this against my will, now everybody else is gonna have to learn this.
Everybody has to suffer with me.
You have to suffer with me.
Yeah, I kind of wish I didn't know that, but like.
And now I'm sorry to all you podcast listeners. I know you guys all know this now because of me, and I apologize. But I wanted to say that Prince Harry and, his wife and all, I don't follow them seriously, but I do see obviously current events and stuff. And
that was loud.
I feel as though he's kind of like just given so much information out right now. You know, like when kids are, not saying that he's in his rebellious stage, but you know, when teenagers or kids are like rebelling and they're just like, I'm going to do whatever I want. And I feel like since he's out of the royal family, now that he can say whatever he wants, he's ready. He's willing. He's going all in.
Yeah, bro's kind of going rogue.
In a way, I don't blame him. I kind of see both sides. It's like, in a way, I'm like, first of all, I didn't need to know about your virginity, bro. Like, you can keep some of that to yourself. Yeah, but on the other spectrum, I can see why he wants to expose some of the sins and like bad stuff that's going on in the royal family that should have been talked about years ago. You know what I mean? So I can see like both sides.
Two sides to it though, too. Like,
there is.
Like, I guess, I don't know. For me, I don't know the truth about like any of that stuff going on. So I'm like, I think he's telling the truth. And then some of it too is like, I know that boy's running out of money. So apparently, even though he's got millions and millions.
What I said to mom, I literally was talking to mom about this yesterday.
He's also trying to stay relevant. So like, it's hard to trust somebody when there is money involved and intentions like that, because
you never know.
That's always sketchy. So like, I'm not saying he's a liar.
I agree.
I'm also not saying I believe him. I'm like in between. I feel like maybe some of the things he says might be true.
I'm sure what he's saying probably has truth, but it's also the fact that when somebody is doing it for financial gain, it's harder to appreciate what they're saying and really feel that like empathy.
Dude, okay, but that's for everything, right?
That's for everything.
Like no matter, like all these people in politics too. It's like you can't trust anybody. Because
I definitely don't trust politics.
Here's what's great. Here's what's crazy. Like, let me give it like an example. Like Nancy Pelosi. Like, these are facts I'm about to lay out. So nothing I'm gonna say here is a lie, but it's just the fact of like
what she do.
Like,
I don't keep up with.
No, it's the fact she's like got like 100 million in her bank account and she makes like 100K a year. Like, how you got that kind of? So like, she's trading stocks, right?
Does she?
Well, her husband trades, but where the frick does he find all the information from? She was in charge of, okay, so all these big things that come out, especially in like the technology sector, she was in charge of. That was like part of like what she did in, you know, Congress and whatnot. So these things that would come out, bro, like they'd be on trades weeks prior. Like Nvidia was one. Like, dude, they made a crap ton of money. She's got castles. Like, she's
Does she?
Yeah, like, I mean, it looks like a castle at least. At least that's what I see. Like, one of the houses I saw, I was like, what the frick? So like, she's got all these houses, all this stuff, and she makes 100K a year.
Bitch got a castle and she makes 100K a year.
Yeah, I'm like, get out of here. Like, you're making less than me, and I live in a 3-bedroom house. Get the frick out of here, dude. Like, it just doesn't even make any sense.
No, so, I feel that. You know, I feel that.
But she's not. Now, hers, I think, is a lot of it is stock related, but it's the fact of she's front running trades because she has insider information before decisions are made and announced to the public. So like she's not trading, but her husband's trading. How do you think he gets the information? She's most likely going home and, you know, allegedly, you know, it's ridiculous. But
no,
you know,
I feel that.
We're all just gonna sit back and deny it. But it's not just her. Like, she's just an example of like that scummy kind of stuff going on. And then when you hear them talk too, I just want to go, shut up. Like, I don't want to hear a word you have to say because like the way you live your life too, it's just like you're just lying.
Well,
so then you see a lot of other ones and they're the same way, but it's in a different way. Like, they're literally taking money from like other countries and stuff and making millions of dollars.
The thing with Prince Harry and his wife Meghan is with them especially, you know, I know that it was like, we want to leave the royal family. And I'm pretty sure they said, we want to be out in the spotlight, or we want to, you know, we want to live our private life, or, you know, whatever they said. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they said that. At least I saw that headline. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. Maybe he didn't say that, but I thought I saw many times him saying that. And so for then a year or two later, you know, after they moved to the States, it's like now they're taking every interview that comes their way. Bro was just doing an interview with Anderson Cooper. They have a Netflix documentary out. He's writing a book talking about his losing his virginity, spilling all these royal family secrets, and it's all for financial gain. And look, I'm not saying 100%. That the dude, I want to play devil's advocate here because obviously, like, growing up in a royal family and growing up in that kind of environment, he probably has seen a lot of stuff that we can't. Well,
he literally said he killed 25 Taliban too. I mean, yeah, bro's like, I saw that stuff. And like, yeah. And now, did you see what the Taliban responded? Now, this is funny, especially coming from the Taliban. They're like, well, yeah, they're calling for like his execution because like you shouldn't be bragging about that. Like that's rich coming from the Taliban. Like they're like just killing people left and right. For fun. And like then he says, "Oh, I killed 25." He brags about killing 25 Taliban. I'm on his side for that one because I'm like,
how does the
Taliban
who's monitoring the Taliban's account, and how does the Taliban have a social media account? Is there a reason?
I actually, I don't know. And I don't even know if it's like a social media account.
Like, how is the Taliban not banned from the internet? But like,
that's a good point.
Certain other people or things are banned.
Okay, that's a really good point. I've been paying attention to this and like seeing people try to talk about this stuff. It's a very valid point because it's like, how are you going to ban like all these other like politicians you don't like or whatever? But then the Taliban, which is a terrorist organization, literally proven, like 150%, nobody would deny it.
If we're going to ban some people off the internet, which I do think, I am not saying I agree with like erasing someone off the face of the earth, but I will say this. In certain situations and certain circumstances, if that person, freedom of speech is not freedom of no consequences. That's the thing that people
agree.
Is
agree
just
100%.
Because you can say in the countries that believe in free speech, just because we can say it, everything we want and post anything we want, within reason, there is within reason. That's the thing. And there's also consequences for your actions. If I'm sitting here telling you some crazy crap that the whole world's like, are you sane? Are you okay? Like, I feel like at some point, I should have my account deleted. Do you know what I mean? At some point, I should be allowed to spread that misinformation. At some point.
Okay. Well, here's the thing, too. I feel like there's a difference as well from, one being misinformation and one like something that's illegal, right? So I think it depends on the scenario. If I'm spreading misinformation of like, I took a shit this morning, but like I didn't, you know what I mean? And like, let's just say like, like the internet rips you for that shit. And they're like, you did not. You definitely did not. You were live streaming and I was watching. And I'm like, oh, dang, bro. Like, and then cancel culture jumps on it. And they're like, bro, this guy
he lied about taking a shit.
He literally lied about taking a shit. And I'm like, oh, shit, no, please. And then they reach out to my sponsors and they're like, he's a fucking liar for saying that. And I'm like, I know.
Nick, this hits close to home. Did this happen to you? Or I feel like this hits close.
No, look. But all I'm saying is like, you know what I mean? Like a lot of times too, like people will like say things and then it's just a joke. One is just, it could be a joke, right? And see, I think that's the line we're teetering on now. It's like jokes are becoming like somewhat like on the verge of like, oh, that's an illegal joke because I don't agree with it or I don't like it.
I see where you're coming from. I'm not saying I disagree, but I will say in some instances, I do think that at some point when you're spreading this much crap, for instance, Kanye West spreading all of his I hate Jews crap, talking about how Hitler thinks Hitler was like a good person or like.
Okay, but here's what I feel like the fix is for that. The fix is what used to be the fix, and it worked just fine. It's called this. You can make an article on him. You can comment on his posts, or if he doesn't allow comments, you can go ahead and screen record and make your own video, and you can talk about it, right? So it's like once something's public on the internet, there's no stopping it. You could delete comments or try and do whatever. Comment on it with a different opinion or a different thing, and that is where you let the whole world have its own opinion on that situation.
I agree, but if we're talking about specific, just examples of people spreading wide misinformation to millions and millions of people.
Right.
The thing about it is when Kanye started spreading all of that anti-Semitic shit all over the internet, there was a rise in anti-Semitic attacks all over the world. Did you see there was like a rise in percentage of like Jews getting attacked on, even in the United States, even in New York? And so this is my thing. Do I think, it's scary to just, be able to wipe a human being off the face of the earth? And am I saying I agree with it? I don't know. But in that instance, I am, because Kanye was spreading so much crap and basically without doing it, and it was encouraging his supporters to also hate Jews. Do you know what I'm saying?
Okay, so but here's the thing about that too. So it's like, at the end of the day, too, are we talking about adults that are doing this stuff? Because, like, you're responsible for your own actions. So, like, if Kanye's going to jump off a bridge, you're going to jump off a bridge. So, like, it comes down to that. Yes, people got their supporters. And I do believe that with, a lot of followers comes a lot of responsibility, right? I do believe that, and I'm not against that.
It's true.
But at the end of the day, if he says some dumb thing, right? Like, whatever you're talking about. If he says some dumb thing, I don't really think that other people deciding they're going to do something dumb based off something somebody said necessarily means that that's 100% his fault. I mean, I get it that those are his supporters.
No. But I agree.
It still goes down to like, these are adults making those decisions.
I do agree with you. I see your point. But I also feel like in this scenario, he said it. He was saying all these anti-Semitic things. And that next week, major rise in anti-Semitic attack. Like they were correlated. Do you see my point?
Let me ask you this. They were
correlated.
Then how do you feel about Dr. Anthony Fauci?
I don't know much about him other than what I've seen.
Okay, well, here's what I can tell you.
Or so say like about COVID.
Okay, right. So if we're going to talk about like misinformation, right? Literally the CDC spread the most disinformation, which led to the whole world basically being shut down for however long. Come to find out, this whole, like, I'm not saying that COVID isn't an actual sickness. It is a sickness that you can get sick.
It definitely
that you can get sick from. Did we all need to wear masks? And what they ended up finding out after finally doing all these like scientific like experiments on this stuff, wearing the mask actually made you worse. Getting the shot actually made you worse. Like there's a lot that went into this that like in my opinion, now you mess with millions and billions of people's lives. Like this is crazy, dude. And so like I get what you're saying about Kanye, but then I'm like, okay, so if it's gonna work that way, it needs to work in all directions, not just this way or that way.
I think some people
it's for everybody maybe, or it's for nobody.
I think some people maybe got the shot or whatever, and then it got worse. I don't know about wearing masks to make it worse. All I know
it definitely did, and they even ran a test on it, and it proved people who got the shot. It was some, you can look it up. It's some crazy. It's like 20%. So now if we're gonna do the whole, oh, you're ignoring science, you know, you like they were trying to pull on everybody for so long. They're like, you're ignoring science. If you don't get the shot, you're ignoring science. So like now the people who got the shot and ended up getting sick or even died. People died because they got the shot. Come to find out, they actually would have been better off not getting the shot. The shot increased your chances. It was like 4 times or something like that. But there was like a weird percentage, but they were like explaining, they're like, it's literally like about equal to like 4 times. Like if you didn't get the shot, you were 4 times more likely to survive. That's basically what it came down to, which is crazy. So like,
I have personally known
that's misinformation. Like that's like death.
I know for me specifically, I can't speak on other people, but I know for me specifically, I have met people that had an issue because of the COVID vaccine. Now that wasn't the case for everyone. I know plenty of people that had no issues at all. They don't, you know, like whatever. And we obviously don't know the long-term effects, but I know many people that have had no problem. They barely even got sick from the shot. It was just like whatever. And they're kind of like, nah, like it was cool. And I'm like, okay. And then I also, someone who had got like a brain issue from the shot and it was correlated according to his doctors, you know, and stuff like that. So I have heard of a lot of people having issues too. And it just sucks because, you know, it's one of those things, especially that we were told, you know, we had to get it. And a lot of people got it because of their jobs. You know, they had to, it's not their fault, or they had to travel.
But like, you know, but that's crazy because you literally messed. So that misinformation messed with people's lives. The same way, like, if this is what you're talking about with Kanye, right? So it's that, but in all honesty, it's that times 100 with what they did. And none of them are being held accountable. And they're still the ones that go, well, we're going to make the disinformation board that's going to go on Twitter and take down accounts and do all that stuff based on
I see your
what
point,
they consider misinformation. So what it comes down to is who gets to decide what real misinformation is. So like, is it only coming from one place? Because if that's true, and there's not like an actual like bipartisan board or whatever that it's coming from, that's dangerous. To be honest, I think it's dangerous regardless. Now we're just talking about freedoms being taken away because of freedom of speech, even if you say something crazy, as long as you're not saying like straight up, like, I'm going to go bomb this place, or you know what I mean? Like, I'm about to go kill it. Like, that's different. You know what I mean? If you're like made a full-blown threat.
We're talking about all that. You know about Andrew Tate. You know he got banned off, you know, off many platforms. He was, you know, resurfaced on Twitter or whatever. Yeah. But I know Andrew Tate was spreading a lot of. He was honestly saying a lot of stuff. Now I'm not saying that everything that ever came out of his mouth was crap, but I will say that a big majority of it was. It was a bit scary. I mean, at least for women, it was something that we didn't want. People with daughters, you know, any parents or dads with daughters don't want that things to be spread. But at the same time, we were all saying Andrew Tate's crazy. Something's going on with this guy. And now look, he's arrested for a sex trafficking ring. And so there is a correlation.
Is there proof though? I'm wondering because I don't know a whole lot about this, but is there actual
I don't know.
proof?
All I know is I guess we don't know yet. I guess we don't know because I guess he's been in prison for what, like a week or two now? I don't know.
That's what I heard. Actually, I'm pretty positive he's not in prison right now. I heard that as a rumor, but then I saw some stuff like yesterday or the day before, like it was actually only one night.
Listen, all I'm going to say is this: if he's,
so I don't know the truth.
It doesn't surprise me if this all comes out that it all happened, sex trafficking. It wouldn't surprise me at all because the guy has values that are degrading to women, and that's just it. That's it. He degrades women. And the things that he says about women are incorrect. And that's just, that's it. And like, people can tell me that's not true, whatever. And I would say, okay, fine, but you probably don't get a lot of girls then. I'm sorry.
Here's what I've seen.
There's a direct correlation there.
I started seeing some clips from him, like, you know, obviously a while ago when he was blowing up, like everybody was seeing clips, right? Here was my thought on him, because the clips I was seeing, it looks to me as a guy and somebody like me, like, you know, Alex, I'm such an instigator. Like, I love to instigate.
Yeah.
So like,
I know.
It struck me because I saw some videos of this dude where he would be like, "You're not a man if you eat sushi. You're a fucking pussy." And like all this stuff. And like, it would make me laugh just because there's no way this dude goes to bed at night and actually believes that. You know what I mean? Like that's just like shit that you say. I feel like if you want to instigate, and like. Drive something.
No. He totally.
Here's what I think.
Right. I think he knows it's going to get views. He knows it's going to get
exactly. And he was trying to sell his course and stuff. I think it was master marketing, but it went too far because then everybody got so butthurt about it, and then they actually
I agree, but
deleted the dude from the internet.
No,
so
I agree,
think it just went too far.
Some of the stuff, like saying some of the stuff he said, there are consequences for that, and it was crazy. Like I even saw him, you know, go on. You know, with Dave Portnoy on the BFFs pod, or I think that's what it's called, the BFFs pod.
I think so. Yeah.
I saw some clip of them not arguing, but you know, Andrew Tate was a guest on his podcast, and it was a good episode. And I actually, you know, listened to a few minutes of it, and Dave Portnoy was like, "Bro, you good, man?" Like the ththings he was saying back to Dave were mind blowing. Like it was like.
What was he saying? Could I get
crazy. Like, yeah, for instance, this is just an example. This just scratches the surface. But he said if a woman like has an OnlyFans, or like, you know, his girl, say like his girlfriend or his partner has an OnlyFans, he said he would have to keep, I think he said half the earnings or something, because that's his girl and that's his property, is what he said. So then Dave said, okay, so then if you had an OnlyFans, your girlfriend would get to keep 50% though, right? Because like, you know, that'd be opposite. And Andrew goes, no, just for women. And Dave goes, well, okay, well,
yeah, that's hard to argue. If he's serious, but again, like I said,
I swear to you, he was dead serious.
Okay, well, look, I'm not here to say whether he was serious or not.
Serious.
But if he was serious. Then yeah, it doesn't fly like that, because it's only got to fly if it's one or the other.
That's what Dave said. Dave said, "Well, listen, that would make more sense if you said if a male had an OnlyFans, then the female would get half of it." And
because when you're a couple, I could understand the fact of like when you're a couple, like first of all, at least the way I look at it too, like that's for you and her to share. So like, if she's gonna go ahead and do that, and then I could maybe understand, like, if you were like, bro, like, that's not cool. Like, that's supposed to be between me and you. Unless it was obviously unless the dude just, like, doesn't care, then it's like, whatever. Again, but that comes down to both of you guys agreeing. But, like, when y'all are, like, a thing, right, it's supposed to be you and her. But it can't work as, like, oh, it's only 50% if she's doing it, but not 50% if I'm doing it. So I get what you're saying. Okay, but I still don't buy the fact, based on what I've seen of this dude, at least the way I think about it,
I don't know. I think it's
crazy. Can see the marketing in it, and I think it is one of those things where he goes back to bed every night and goes, like, I fooled the world once again. Like, he just puts on a straight face. Now, I might be wrong, and he really might actually be like that. Mm-hmm. But from some of the crazy clips, like the one I was just telling you about of the sushi, I saw multiple ones, but that one stuck with me because I was like, there's no freaking way this dude actually thinks you're less of a man who eats sushi, like making fun of like other people. So like when I see that kind of stuff, and he had a straight behind face too, and I'm like, bruh. So that makes me believe seeing certain clips like that. It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell what he's being serious on and what he's not because it's all getting views. And now anything he does is going to get massive views, especially because this new scandal, right? So it's just like, it doesn't stop. So
all of his supporters are going to come up with this and be like, Alex L, common Alex L, because I don't like Andrew Tate. But listen, guys,
can I be honest? I'm not like an Andrew Tate fan myself. Like I'm not really a fan of anybody that much, but like I feel two ways about it. Here's how I feel about this. The guy is proven innocent, in my opinion, until proven guilty. He's innocent until proven guilty over the sex. Sorry. Proven innocent. My bad. He's innocent until proven guilty. I'm not saying he didn't do what he did. I'm also just saying I haven't seen any evidence of this. So I'm not here to say one or the other.
But I will say this. You're right about the sex trafficking part. I will say this. The bro I know he got millions of dollars because he ran a cam model agency. I guess that's how he originally got his money. Basically find these hot girls and they would sign on with him and he would take a big portion of their
So was it like a Dan Brazilian type thing or whatever? Like that?
Dan Bilzerian?
Yeah, well, however you say it. I don't even know how to say his last name.
I think it's something like that. I don't really know. I don't know. All I know
like one of those I get what you're saying.
Say that he was exploiting women for many years for money. So it was
now, is there proof of that, or is that just people saying it too?
No,
I do know a lot of people.
That's what Andrew Tate said.
Okay,
he said that's how he got his money originally. Was basically from exploiting hot women. Now, why would somebody think he could do that but not do sex trafficking?
I'm not here to say
going too far away.
Yeah, I'm not here to say he did. I'm not here to say he didn't.
Well, guess what? Hopefully, we find out soon so we can talk about it on the next episode.
Yeah, right. all I think is that it should just be fair across the board, right? That's all I'm trying to get across here. If it's gonna be, Kanye needs to be banned, Andrew Tate needs to be banned, X, Y, and Z, right? I also think that it needs to work the other way. But again,
I think terrorist
who's the almighty moderator? Who's the almighty moderator for these things? Like
God,
what I'm saying,
help us, God. We need
I just think here's what it should be. Let people say their stupid things as long as they're not actually doing something illegal. Again, something that would be against the law or threatening something. I think let them be a bunch of idiots and say their stupid stuff and let the comments rip them to shreds.
What Kanye was doing, specifically Kanye, is from saying all these anti-Semitic things. There's a lot of people that just are anti-Semitic and it's disgusting. And a lot of these people are waiting for somebody with power or money or status to just say something against the Jews so they can be like, now's our time to act like a psychopath.
Well, okay.
And you know what
right.
I'm saying? So I will say, like you said, with millions of followers comes great responsibility.
Agreed.
And I think stuff like that, anti-Semitic, obviously Andrew Tate spreading a bunch of crap about women. It's just he had like all these incels following him and kind of like being, I don't know. I saw some really scary threads of Andrew Tate supporters like on Reddit and stuff, really scary stuff that I wish I didn't see. But they were basically encouraging, men to rape women and just it was really bad, Nick. It was really bad. And I'm not saying that's every person that supports Andrew Tate, but it's like that's the kind of ideologies that he is promoting. And so I think that there is just a line that if you cross that line, do I think you need to be erased off the earth? I don't know. Cancel culture is a rough thing to go down, and I think that sometimes and lately it's really crazy now.
Well, you know why it's crazy too?
In a way, I get it.
See, back in the day, but see, this is why I'm saying I wish we could just go back to how things were. Because back when people used to be this stupid, or they would say stupid things, or like instigate stuff, right? They would just get ripped to shred on the internet, and that's that. You know what I'm saying? Like, move on. Nowadays, cancel culture is like its own thing, which I think cancel culture, because in my opinion, they're actually the worst of the worst. Because it's just like, it comes down to like, they're like, we have all this power, like, you must do whatever we think is right in this very moment. And it's like times just keep changing and changing and changing. It's like there's no foundation anymore. So if there's no foundation, then it's like what we're really doing is we're just going with the flow and just saying, oh, like this, you're gone. You're gone. Oh, you can come back. Oh, you're gone. Oh, sorry, you didn't agree with this year's new thing, or, whatever it is. And it's like, I just feel like there needs to be some kind of baseline, and like either everybody agrees on it, or it's like, it's also just, bro, like we live in America, like it's just supposed to be free. So like, you should be able to say some stupid stuff as long as your stupid stuff isn't illegal. So,
that is the line that I think I'm struggling, because I think in a way, I think especially what Kanye did is what he was doing was encouraging people to continue with their anti-Semitic ways, which is why it got a rise in anti-Semitic attacks. And that's a fact. That's not my opinion.
If you could show me some tweets or something.
No, I will. I'll show you the stats.
I don't pay attention.
People were going on synagogues and putting and spray painting Kanye was right over the Star of David and over the synagogues. Like, it was a direct correlation. And I think that people kind of don't realize how serious that was. Do you know what I'm saying? And like, I just think that, yes, Kanye was basically removed off the earth and all that, but Kanye was so messed up to go, Adidas, I can say whatever I want and Adidas can't drop me. And like, Adidas was like,
yeah, well, see, that's the thing too, though. Like, he also signed a contract. Like, that was dumb to say, especially because like Adidas does have. Well, I saw clips of him after that. Crazy. I saw multiple clips after that where he said, I was wrong. And, you know, this is the consequence for my actions. I actually saw him take responsibility a few times on that. And
listen,
I didn't follow the situation very good. But
good for him. I hope he does take responsibility. But sometimes, and listen, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I to take responsibility.
Look, I'm sure the viewers right now are probably like, does Nick like these? I don't give a frick about any of these people. I'm just medium guy. Like, that's all that I am. Look, all I'm for is free speech and like just fairness across the board. That's all I care about.
If somebody's doing something bad, devil's advocate a lot, and I like playing devil's advocate. I like to see both sides, and in most situations, I can see both sides. With Kanye, though, I will say the stuff he was saying was incorrect, and it did spread a bad message. And I think Kanye, I'm not saying that Kanye is all evil or whatever, you know what I mean? I'm sure he's does great things, and I'm sure he's whatever, but I'm just saying in that specific situation, him spreading those kind of messages were wrong, and they put a rise in anti-Semitic attacks. And that is my problem. And that's why I think, in a way, him getting his accounts banned made sense. Because I'm like, well, this is inciting danger in real life. Do you know what I'm saying? And no, it wasn't illegal per se, but it was wrong. It was really wrong.
Well, yeah, that's where I feel like, though, like, there should be some accountability. Or, you know what this comes down to? That's
what I'm struggling with. Is what's the line?
Yeah,
that's
what I get what you mean. Yeah, it's like
what's
hard.
The line with cancel culture? Like, where do I say don't do cancel culture? But then it's like when stuff like this happens, I'm like, but I get that. I get why Kanye was removed. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's like I'm kind of struggling because I just think it needs to go by.
The only thing that I think is unfair. I'm not against what you're saying. I guess I only see it as unfair because then you have all these, politicians or different people doing all these scummy things, and then the CDC doing this stuff, but then nothing happens to them. So then it's just kind of like, so there's a double standard.
Why does the Taliban have a social media account?
That too. Too. I agree. I agree.
So
I'm like,
if they do. Like, what the hell?
What the hell? No, I think they do, though. I think I've actually heard that they do have it.
Please don't come after us. I'm sorry, Taliban. I'm not trying to offend you.
No,
please don't come after us. We're just some random.
No, I'm just kidding. No, don't hurt me. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm scared. Look, here's the deal. I just think it needs to be fair. It just needs to be fair, or there needs to be some kind of like definitive, like, hey, like, here's the rules. And this is how it's going to be. But again, you can't do that necessarily in a free speech environment. So either we turn into one of these other countries or we stay how we are. So it's like there's dangers in both, but it's like the problem's never going to get fixed. Either you suppress people or you allow people to say stupid stuff and then potentially sometimes have issues. But if you suppress people, then you could also have a ton of issues and also a ton of truth that'll never get out. You see what I'm like? It's like, it's this weird, like, and then who's monitoring the misinformation? Like, who is the misinformation king? Like, who gets to wake up in the morning and go, oh, well, that's misinformation. Okay, well, why? Why would that be considered misinformation? Is there factual evidence as to why that's misinformation? Right. Then maybe I can understand. But a lot of times too, I've noticed it seems to just come down to politics. It seems like with majority of this stuff, politics or opinions and views, religion, even like all these different things. And it's just like,
Yeah.
That's why I just feel like it just needs to be free across the board, but let people say their stupid things. If they're going to say their stupid things, they should be ripped to shreds and allow the internet to do that to them. But as long as they're not breaking a law, I don't think that there should be much. Now, if what you're saying is like, if uprisings are happening from so-and-so and whatnot, maybe they should be talked to about that, or there should be some kind of something, as to why, like, hey, do you realize what you're saying causes action? There should be something like that. Maybe it's hard. Yeah. It's like how I feel like, here's the thing. There's not going to be a definitive fix, because either you just suppress everybody or you allow freedom and then potentially have some issues. But either way, you're not going to have a perfect fix, because
no, for sure. We're all just humans, and we're all just crazy. So it's such a weird
thing. It's just like a weird thing.
But I feel like we had a great episode today. I feel like we covered a lot of different.
And we went long, right?
We did go pretty long, I think. And so
first episode back.
Episode back, guys. Sorry if we just rambled on about nothing, but I feel like we had a good discussion. I feel like we talked
it was a great discussion.
We talked about a lot of things, and hopefully we'll find out soon about Andrew Tate if there was proof.
So if this is true, I think he should get what he deserves.
We'll see.
If it's not true, I
definitely
think he should just be out and free. I think he should have his accounts back. I don't think that he should be banned on everything. I think he says shit to piss people off. That's what I think. I really do. I think he's just a master marketer. I think
his course was like shut down because it was like, I don't know, his actual website.
Everything. He lost so much stuff. But again, here's what's cool about somebody like him. Here's the only thing that I think is cool. He's rich enough that it doesn't matter. So it's one of those things too, where he's like, whatever, like, go ahead and like delete me. All this is going to amount to is just a bunch of people hating me. But like, you can't just like he's not going to suffer, if that makes sense. And in a way, I kind of respect it, because I'm like, what I know from people that are rich like that is the fact that even though I know he was doing a lot of this, I think, to try and get like some sales and stuff, but he doesn't need it. So like, when it comes down to the fact that you don't need it, you don't have to listen to whatever. Like, you don't have to like cave to the woke mob, or you don't have to like do all those kind of things, which I think is really kind of cool. Like,
it is cool once
you to cancel culture, and it's like he can go on his merry way. And at the end of the day, look, here's how I've always felt about social media. If you don't like it, don't watch it, or block that person, or like just click I don't like this type of content, and you'll hopefully get recommended some other stuff. But like, that's what's crazy about like, technology and like social media and everything, is the fact that we have all this cancel culture, but in reality, it's like you can cancel them by blocking them. Like, that's, in my opinion, the biggest punishment you can give a creator is blocking them or not watching their videos, because that is how they die.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Continue to talk about them and everything that you hate about them, you're keeping them relevant. So like, I've always said that, like, when people hate me or my videos or whatever, I'm always like, oh, thanks so much. I'm like, thanks so much for the comment. Thanks so much for sharing. Bro. Don't forget to share this with all your friends and have them all post about how much they hate me. Don't forget.
Don't forget.
Please do that.
Please continue to make fun of me. No, it's true. With that month that there's been months or like stuff on the, or like I'll have a video do well, and like it's just a bunch of people making fun of me. But I'm like, I'll make more money that month than See,
exactly, and that's generally how
when it's not.
So people live off drama, or you live off the worst times, right?
One of my videos will do well. There's just a bunch of haters, but then I'm like, hey, I made more money this month. Oh, okay. I'm okay with that. But anyway, so I just want to say to all of our listeners, thank you guys so much for listening to us or watching us. We're gonna upload this to YouTube and upload some TikToks and Instagram. So follow us at Not Related Podcast. If you guys haven't already, at Not Related Podcast on TikTok, Instagram, and I think on YouTube as well. And we are going to be being more consistent, hopefully doing weekly pods here, and really trying our best to continue the Not Related Podcast in 2023. That's one of my goals this year, and so we're gonna make it happen, aren't we, Nick?
That's the goal.
So thank you, Nick. All the way from Florida. I'm from Scotland. We are chatting right now. Hope maybe next time we'll actually be together. I don't know. Actually, no, we won't, because I don't come home for like a month. So
She's always
soon.
fun.
You'll get a.
I'll be here in the next room, guys. I'll be here in this room every single episode.
Nick will be at his house with his wife and kid because he does not leave.
I don't go anywhere. Anyways, yeah, I appreciate you guys watching and or listening. You know, whatever you're doing. You know, try not to always allow your emotions to dictate the way you feel about what somebody says about something. You know what I mean? Because I feel like a lot of people. Here's the thing. I know that like we're gonna talk deep stuff on the podcast, and like I know for a lot of people too, like they attach their emotions to certain things they hate or they don't hate, and like I just want to like remind everybody, like I think open conversations are really healthy and like good.
They are.
I
feel like if you can't have an open discussion with someone without
you're immature,
getting angry or mad, then you're just a child. I just think at this point I can besides
like disagreements are supposed to be a right. Like they're like, you know, and it's something that in all honesty, if you don't disagree with somebody on something, then you're flaky because like you should have views. Yeah, you should have opinions and views. So like that's okay. Like whether you disagree with me, whether you disagree with Alex, like for sure, that's totally fine. And like we welcome that disagreement.
We welcome that, and actually we welcome the discussion. So tell us in the comments everywhere how you guys are feeling about what we were saying. We want discussions. Also, please leave us a review on Apple Music and Spotify. Can you leave? Wait, you can leave reviews on Spotify, can't you? Or is it just Apple Music? It might be just Apple Music. Shit,
I just make TikToks.
Anyways, leave me a review, guys. Nick's like, I don't know. Leave us a review, guys. 5 stars, hopefully. Unless you hated it, then whatever. But 5 stars, guys, and hopefully we'll be back in the next few days for another episode, and we will give you guys more episodes in 2023. So thank you guys so much for listening. We love you guys, and also we need to shout out our own Nick. You guys can follow me. I'm at Alex Princess with 3 X's and 3 S's, like Alex Princess. So follow me on everything. And Nick, what's your username?
It's me, Nick Smithy. So literally how it sounds. It's me, Nick, and then Smithy. So, yep. You can follow me anywhere right at that. So, and hey, if you want to come to the Twitch streams that I'll be doing soon, you're going to see this sweet background. Or if you watch on YouTube.
And sub to Nick's YouTube so we can get to that 1 milli. That's his goal for 2023. I need to get to 1 mil.
That's right.
Let's
go check out those
vids.
Let's
go. All right. Love you guys. Thank you guys for listening. And you guys have a wonderful rest of your night. Nick, see you later. Love you.
Peace out. Love you.
Bye.
Bye.